Here's the other person who's already been arrested as the ringleader. Her name is Nakima Levy Armstrong. I play this because it's very interesting where they're going with it now. Okay, and I should mention, 3 other people were arrested today besides Don Lemon. There's Georgia Fort, who I mentioned. She describes herself as an independent journalist based in Minnesota. There's Traherne Jean Cruz, who was is a co-founder of Black Lives Matter Minnesota, big on the George Floyd thing. There's Jamal Lydell Lundy, who's an aide to the Soros-based prosecutor out there in Minneapolis, Mary Moriarty, and he works in local government there. And then I was told that Don Lemon's producer was also indicted, but the press release or the post on X from Pam Bondi says, at my direction, early this morning, federal agents arrested Lemon, Traherne, Georgia, and Jamel. So I'm guessing then that Lemon's producer is yet to come. I think I have been reliably told that he was indicted. So we'll see whether that pans out. We'll cover it either way, whether it's true or it's not true. We'll update the audience. But okay, let's get back to Nakima, who was arrested along with that other lady and William Kelly last week. Here is her take on what her arrest and this week have been like for her. SOT 26.
We had belly chains around our waist, and we had handcuffs with bars in the middle. As someone who majored in African American studies, I can tell you that that is the closest I ever felt to slavery in my life. Being shackled as if I was a slave. It is unacceptable and unconscionable.
It's great to work your priors.
She sounds like someone who majored in African American studies. That part I totally believe. And generally speaking, any department in a university that ends with studies, it's not a real department. You're not learning a lot in that department. And here she's saying, well, you see, there's this superficial similarity because criminals are in chains and slaves are also in chains, which makes me think, as a boy, I would wear a Paul O'Neill jersey, a big Yankee fan. I'm still a big Yankee fan. So does that mean that I'm a professional baseball player? Am I a New York Yankee? I don't, superficial similarities do not necessarily signify any real similarity. So I guess maybe this would be her argument. If the chains themselves are what's so bad, then we need to abolish all of the prisons, right? I was saying that as kind of a punchline, but probably
I think that is what she thinks as a BLMer.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, amazing. Like the closest I ever felt to a slave. Hey, how did you get in handcuffs again, Nakima? Oh wait, you terrorized a room full of children and churchgoers. That's what happens. Broken bones happen. People in tears and terrified. That's what you did. That's why I'm not in cuffs. Michael Knowles is not in cuffs. But you are. That something is different between the three of us. But she's having a hell of a week there, Michael Knowles, because listen to this. SOT 30.
Once we got to the Sherburne County Jail, we were strip searched. We were placed in jail uniforms. We were locked in cells side by side. And I'm not even going to talk about what they tried to feed us that looked like mystery meat. That makes me sad for the people who are currently incarcerated and not even being fed decently for their survival. I didn't want to even use the restroom in my cell. Why? Because there's a camera watching your every move. This is in spite of going through x-ray machines and being strip searched where they know you have no contraband. And yet still there's a camera in your room watching you with nothing else in there but a bed on cement and a metal toilet that doubles as a water fountain.
Note to Nakima, we're not really arresting the best people, so generally we like to keep an eye on them.
I love the complaint.
She thought she was going to the Ritz, Michael Knowles.
I wonder, did she expect foie gras? They didn't even serve me creme brulee afterward, not even a tasty little snack to follow my meal. And she seems genuinely surprised by this.
Mystery meat.
Mystery meat. This wasn't even grass-fed Wagyu. No, it wasn't. Because prison, this has been lost on the left, but I think it's been lost on some parts of the right too. Prison is for punishing people. That's what it's for. when we often hear we have overpopulation of the prisons, that is not true. As long as crime is going up, as long as crime is substantial, we have a severe under-incarceration problem. The purpose of the criminal justice system primarily is retribution. There are secondary purposes, which is rehabilitation or deterrence, but the primary purpose, the reason we arrest you and put you in the clink in the first place, is because you did something wrong. And when you do something wrong, you get punished, and you don't get foie gras. If this woman had majored in criminology rather than African American studies, maybe she would have learned that. Maybe not.
Here's Jamel Hill, always a radical. They arrested Don Lemon. This is horrifying. I don't care what your political beliefs or leanings are. By the way, that's a lie. She very much cares. What journalism outlet you represent, this absolutely cannot stand. He did not participate. Jamel, take the time. Watch the tape. Don did not enter the church until the protest began. Also not true. He interviewed the people protesting and showed what they were doing. That's what journalists do. In response to which, Stephen L. Miller responded, if you really want your mind blown, he violated the KKK Act. She's gonna fall out of her seat when she hears that. And, okay, and speaking of making it a black thing, here's SOT 29 from Nakima.
Here we are, black women, nonviolent. Our only weapons are voices. Being treated like Hannibal Lecter. Being treated like a mass murderer. Tell me, where is the justice in that? And media, you have a responsibility, as I said before, because you all participate in spinning headlines and turning us into criminals. Even though we are standing up for the poor, we're standing up for the vulnerable, we are standing up for the truth.
I don't think Hannibal Lecter was, even in the fictional version of the movie, was allowed out on bail in like a nice suit to talk to the media without his weird face mask on, Michael. I'm not sure it's identical.
They're going to treat me like Hannibal Lecter, and they won't even serve me fava beans with a nice glass of Chianti. I think she's very upset by the quality of the food. I see this as a recurring theme.
Yes.
The point that she's making about the protests, or that Jamil Hill's making about the protests, we have to correct the language here. What occurred in that church is not a protest. Even before you had reminded me that Don Lemon's being charged under the Ku Klux Klan Act, the comparison with the Klan is apt. Because you should ask these people, would you consider a lynching or even just a milder cross burning to be a protest? In a way, it's a kind of a protest. It's a gathering of people who are angry about something, who want some of their grievances redressed. That's true. And so in that way, it's similar to the mob that showed up to the church, but it's obviously not a protest, because protests are constitutionally protected acts, and what those people are doing is a criminal act. And so just as you don't get to host the lynching or the cross burning and claim it as a constitutionally protected protest or an act of journalism if someone's filming it or something, the same holds true of the church. What happened in that church was many things, and it violated multiple laws. What it emphatically was not is a protest.
Well, you've got now these BLMers, because it's no accident that the George Floyd crew from Minneapolis is jumping in on this, that they were the ones who did the church so-called protest. I mean, it was terrorism to me. That Don Lemon also, in the wake of last Sunday and the threats of arrest, played the race card. You're shocked. I know, shocked. This is the soundbite here, SOT 18, because there's an update here. SOT 18 first.
And, I said, I don't understand how I've become the face of it when I was a journalist. I do understand that I'm the biggest name there. And I'm also, as I was on with my producers this morning, you and Kylie talk all the time. My producers were saying, I said, how did I become the face of this? And my producer said, Don, you're a gay black man in America, and you have a platform, and you're the biggest name. Of course, you're going to be the person that they single out, and they're going to make the headline because it plays to their base. And their base is full of racist, bigoted homophobes, like Nicki Minaj, by the way.
Okay. So he tried, there's a lot in there. Gay black man, gay black man. I don't know if you were aware that Don Lemon is a gay black man, Michael. He never mentions it.
He doesn't know. It's news. I'm hearing it for the first time. It's news to me.
So there he is, Mentioning it again before the DOJ. He said it before he got fired from CNN. Just to remind everybody, I'm gay and I'm black. Didn't work. Didn't work here again. You'd think he'd stop doing it. Nicki Minaj did have thoughts on Don Lemon. She sat down with Katie Miller, and here's how that went. 32.
You called for Don Lemon's arrest over his church stunt in Minneapolis. He's since called you racist, unhinged, homophobic, and out of your depth. Anything you'd like to say to Don Lemon?
Cocksucker, stop.
Wow.
It's dangerous to play with people who do not give an F.
I also don't really get, so he's upset because Nicki Minaj likes Trump, and she showed up to America Fest, sat down with Erica Kirk, then she just was with the president the other day. So she's out in the open. She's on the American right. That's great. And so he says she's a homophobe and this and that. But he also said she's an anti-black racist, which I think weakens his argument, because I'm not super familiar with Nicki Minaj's oeuvre, but it seems to me that that's a hard claim to make. Yes, that whole interaction with Don Lemon, it reminds me of a clip, this was years ago, with David Webb. It was on Fox. He was doing his radio show, and someone called in, and he was making a conservative argument, and the person just lazily said, well, that's just your white privilege talking. And David started laughing.
Boy.
Yes, for the listeners who are not familiar, David Webb, very much a black man, but this was radio, and so the caller didn't know that. And it was just this gut, knee-jerk reaction, this lazy kind of attack to say, well, you're only attacking me because I'm black or a woman or this or that. So that's what Don Lemon's doing.
A new year means new financial goals, like making sure your savings are secure and diversified. Will this be the year you decide to talk to someone from Birch Gold Group? They use an educational approach with a deep understanding of macroeconomics. There are forces pushing the dollar lower and gold higher, which is why they believe every American should own physical gold. So until January 30th, if you're a first-time gold buyer, Birch Gold is offering a rebate of up to $10,000 on qualifying purchases. To claim eligibility and start the process, just text MK to the number 989898. Birch Gold can help you roll an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold, and you are still eligible for a rebate of up to $10,000. Consider making right now your first time to buy gold and take advantage of a rebate up to $10,000 when you buy by January 30th. Text MK to the number 989898. Claim your eligibility today. Again, just text MK to the number 989898. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.